Yeah, come and take a look at the snow. Bright white as far as your eyesight goes. Come and take a look at the fields of snow. I'll just get my coat, then we're good to go. Come and take a look at the lake. Let's have a quick skate before it gets late. Come and take a look at the frozen lake. Put your clothes on, mate, don't make that mistake.
Greetings, holiday shoppers. There are now 183 shopping days left until Christmas, and I think you know what that means. That means it's time for another fantabulous episode of Christmas Creeps, your one-stop shop for holiday movies and TV shows all year round. Hi, my name is Joseph Wade. I'll be your host for this evening. If you couldn't tell, I am very much under the weather today, so I'm going to have our co-hosts sort of take the lead on this episode. With us tonight is Johnny Five, the human robot.
Present.
And Mr. Bradford is here as well.
Pour one out. Rest in peace, Joseph Wade.
Yeah, my voice decided to go on vacation a couple weeks early this year, so yay me. But no, we are 6 months out from Christmas as of the release of this episode today. The 4th of July is just around the corner, so we thought, what better time to discuss a Jaws movie? And as it turned out, Jaws the Revenge actually kind of sort of takes place around the holidays. So what the hell, let's talk about Jaws 4.
Jaws 4 takes place around the holidays in the same exact sense that Jurassic World takes place around the holidays. And that you get 5 minutes of framing at the beginning and then it's thrown out the window.
This is definitely one of Brad's 1 in 12 movies kind of accidentally takes place at Christmas.
And I can respect that. It doesn't overuse it. I'm not saying that Shane Black films overuse it, although they kind of do, but The Lights Are Pretty. It happens to take place at the beginning of Christmas, and then we move on to New Year's and then beyond. Like, I'm sure most of this movie takes place in, like, January, but...
Yeah, like, the whole first act basically transpires over the holidays, and once you hit the big problem in Act 2, like, it's already mid-January.
Yeah. So we're talking about the third film in the Fantastic Jaws series, as it was marketed as.
Fourth, actually.
No, I know, but I was reading on our good friend Wikipedia the other day that this was marketed as the third Jaws film, and in canon, it basically pretends that Jaws 3D didn't happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I did actually, over the past week, I watched all of the Jaws films in preparation for this.
That's why you're sick.
I've been infected by shit. But essentially, Jaws 2 is a direct sequel to 1. 3 has nothing to do with anything, except it does have some of the same characters. Like, Dennis Quaid plays the teenage son from the first movie. And then in the fourth movie, he's played by the last Starfighter. But between 2 and 4, like, they all just kind of agree that 3 never happened.
So you were saying that I'm just gonna go ahead and shout it out loud here. You said that Jaws 4 is the second best Jaws film. And I'm assuming that order goes Jaws, Jaws 4, Jaws 2, Jaws 3?
Yep.
Nailed it. Got it in one, even though I've only seen Jaws 1 before this morning.
My problem with Jaws 2 is mostly that it's just straight up psychotic.
Is that the one where we get the flashback and 4 of him shooting a shark with a gun?
No, that was in the first movie.
Wait, really? I thought he used like a tank to kill. Let me just put my cards on the table.
He doom-guyed him. He threw a barrel in his mouth and then shot the exploding barrel.
Oh, okay. It has been 20 years since I've seen the first Jaws film.
Oh man, you gotta remedy that shit. Jaws is awesome.
I know. I saw it when I was like 10 years old, and I haven't seen it since. So maybe I will remedy that.
But yeah, this film doesn't make liberal use of flashbacks, but it uses them just enough to make it confusing.
Yes, it certainly does.
Because the movie centers around the mom of the Brody family, who was Lorraine Gray, back from the first film and the second film.
Is it Gray or Gary?
Gary, excuse me. You're right. Not constantly, but she does flashback to scenes from the first Jaws that she could never possibly have been privy to. Yeah. Which is an odd thing. Like, let's go ahead and say right now, this is one of those famous worst films ever made kind of movies. Like, it's on all those bad movie lists.
It's not good, but I didn't think it was like offensively terrible, honestly.
Like, the worst thing about the movie is that the premise is patently ridiculous.
Oh, it's completely ridiculous. It is I kind of respect it a little bit, honestly. It makes the Brody family out to have, like, it's like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like, style curse that they won't escape for, like, 6 generations. It's great, but it just happens to be sharks. It's wonderful.
Yeah, the fucking novelization goes on that the family, it does have a voodoo curse on it.
Oh,
somehow.
really? Really?
As you do, you get cursed by the voodoo when you live, in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Well, no. So the plot of this one is basically that a shark eats the younger Brody son, Sean, and then the older son takes mom to the Bahamas with him for Christmas, where she then has this premonition that the shark is out to get them and follows them from Martha's Vineyard to the Bahamas. But that apparently there were deleted scenes, and it's in the novelization, like you pointed out, that Michael crosses some voodoo priestess in the Bahamas, and she puts a curse on the family.
See, that would have made a little more sense. It probably would have been a little more racist, I'm sure. But
yeah, and that might. I mean, I don't know. It was the 80s, so that might not be a good enough reason to delete something like that.
Which curse is worse, this curse or the thinner curse?
Ooh.
Because my first thought is like, well, it's kind of like Tyler the Creator says about cyberbullying. Like, how is cyberbullying real? Just close your eyes. Like, how are you cursed by a shark? Just move to Idaho.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
pretty much.
The third one even kind of addresses that, because in part 3, the younger son Sean decides he's gonna get as far away from the islands as possible, and he goes to college in Colorado.
See?
But that apparently doesn't happen. That is not acknowledged in this one. He's like, no, he's a cop in Amity Island.
That's a reasonable solution to this problem that reasonable people would do.
Also in the third one, Michael Brody becomes a technician at SeaWorld.
Yes.
Like, possibly one of the most vulnerable people to a shark attack you could possibly imagine.
You would, yeah.
And then in 4, it gets worse because he's he's a scientist, researching conch shells underwater.
Can I ask you a question? And I know we're getting a little off topic already. How strong is the product placement in Jaws 3? Is it SeaWorld plastered everywhere? Because you would think that shark attacks, SeaWorld would not want to put their brand on that, but who knows?
I don't think it's SeaWorld copyright, the brand, but they definitely shot it at SeaWorld, and it's a SeaWorld-esque park.
It's spelled S-E-E World. SeaWorld.
Come see the world at SeaWorld.
Yes.
No, I think you've got it kind of right there. There's not a whole lot of branding as I recall, but and there's even less in 4.
I'm struggling to think of any product placement really.
Yeah, I don't think there is. Even the casino they could go to, I think it's just called Casino.
Yeah, or
so
Island.
Well,
Casino.
there's that sponsorship deal with Subway.
Wait, what?
I mean, I that's the only reason I can think of why the dude's fucking name is Hoagie. Because Subway paid him to change it.
Alfred's name is Hoagie.
You get some LO governor ass motherfucker like Michael Caine. Yeah, his name's Hoagie.
Well, every 10 minutes or so, the shark does eat fresh. So
that's true.
There you
Gosh, the shark has a very low accuracy rate in this movie, I might say. Ends up gibbing some rando on the banana boat. Maybe we should get into the plot summary, I guess.
Yeah, Brad, go for it. Dig into this plot.
All right.
I like the part where the shark literally just bit a boat and the boat started bleeding.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's one of my major beefs with this movie, is that every time the shark appears, even if he bites a dock or something else, he constantly has a cloud of blood about him, like he's fucking Pigpen. It's ridiculous. Anyways, I will get into the plot summary. We're in Abernathy Island.
Amity.
We're in is it really called Amity Island?
Yes.
Oh, Friendship Island. I love it. We're at Friendship Island, somewhere in the northeast, where Shark Killer Man's wife, a widow, lives with her one son, who's named Sean. And Sean's a goofball, and he's got a promising life ahead of him, and he wants to buy a Christmas tree with his fiancée. He's a cop, and he's about to clock out of the job when we find out that there is a tiny a log, a pier pile stuck on a buoy, and for some reason the fishermen can't drive around that, even though they should probably give the buoy a clearance, and I hate this plot hole, and I hate it so much.
I mean, it makes sense that, like, professional fishermen would be fucking babies, because professional anything are fucking babies.
It's so dumb. Like, the pile sticks out like 10 feet. It's the worst. Anyways, he is tasked with removing the pile from the buoy. And during the credit sequence, we're treated to this point of view from a shark. I don't think it's not the original Jaws, because he got killed, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's a new shark. This new shark hates the Brody family, and he wants them to die. So much that he keeps, they keep popping out of the water to look at the town, because a shark wouldn't do that unless they really hate humans. Anyways, it sets
what if the shark is just a mercenary, though? Like, what if it's just being paid to do this shit?
I mean, who can blame them?
So the shark is being paid by, like, a Howard Saint-esque villain to murder, to basically punish the Brody family for what they've done to him.
I think that the shark is being paid by another shark because that other shark is too rich and lazy to do the hunting by them on their own.
Yeah, like, the other shark is like the original Jaws' rich uncle, and it's just like, I really want them to get eaten, but, like, I got this lazing about to do.
He's a shark politician. He doesn't want to get blood on his hands, so he finds another shark from the bad side of town to take up this shark mercenary position. Anyways,
maybe this took place at, like, a shark wedding, and the shark godfather had to, like, go to, like, the mercenary shark and say,
"You're describing shark." Wait, isn't Shark Tale about a shark mob? Isn't it like a mobster movie?
Like, this thing I ask of you, would you do it, please, on the birth of my shark daughter's wedding? I don't know. Her birth, wedding, Christmas Day.
It ties back into Tokyo Godfathers, because we had a fucking mob wedding then, too. It was great. All right. So this...
you're right. This movie could use a bunch of shitty pun characters. Shark Hamill. All I remember about Shark Tale is that there's a reporter fish named Katie Current, and I want to kill myself so that I can stop remembering.
I mean, you've seen Shark Tale?
I have several younger nieces and nephews. It's a occupational hazard.
I understand. I see my fate writ before me. I'm gonna take this moment to say on the podcast, I'm gonna be a dad. Anyways, so
I am getting your kid a copy of Shrek that's only the dance party.
Somebody once told me. I love it. I am going to die. Okay.
Bradford's gonna be a shark dad.
I'm gonna be a shark dad. So the shark sets a trap and he kills Sean. Sean loses.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happened, right? The shark put that log there to lure him out, right?
That's absolutely what happened. The shark set a trap. Because he knows that Sean is employed at the police department because he has dossiers.
Yeah, he did his research.
He went online and did some research, even though it's 1987.
He went to the library.
He went to the fucking courthouse.
The shark logged onto the ARPANET and found out where Sean Brody worked.
So this shark published a FOIA request to figure out where Sean works. And he sets a trap. And he bites off Sean's arm. And Sean basically leans over the boat after he loses this arm. And he's like, "Oh God, help!" And he's like,
"Oh God, where did I put that arm?"
Yeah, he's like wiggling his bloody stump over the edge of the boat, goading the shark into biting him instead of driving the boat back to the dock.
But he's screaming for help, and no one can hear him because they're all rehearsing the Christmas pageant on the dock.
It's maybe one of the best scenes in the film because you have the John Williams like dun over like, isn't it "Hark the Herald Angels Sing" or something like that?
Yeah.
It's a good scene. It's not bad. I'll give him credit for that.
It is all downhill from here.
Yes, it absolutely is. He gets murdered by the shark, and then grandma/mom finds out. She goes and IDs the body. She's having a rough time of it, and Sean's brother, Michael?
Yes.
And
that's one thing I don't get, though, why she has to ID the body necessarily, because it's like she
There's
goes to the police station and a bunch of cops there and is like, hey, yeah, they killed our boss. Do you want to ID him for us?
Yeah, and also the police boat is like drifting out in the harbor. It's like, okay, we get it.
There's literally only like 3 people it could possibly have been, but
The janitor?
You guys want to see a dead body?
All right. So, Michael shows up with his wife and their daughter, Thea, played by I don't know the name of the actress. I just said
Judith Barcy.
Judith Barcy, who played Ducky on The Land Before Time, and we're not going to get into the rest of that history. Anyhow, they show up for the funeral, and then Michael convinces, and more so, Michael's daughter convinces, what's her name? Ellen. Is it Ellen or Eleanor? Ellen, to come back to the Bahamas with them, where Michael is pursuing research on conchs. There we're treated to a hell of a lot, most of the movie, of slice of life sort of situations with Michael and his cool partner Jake researching conchs and their migration patterns. But they also happen to run into a great white shark. Huh. Interesting. Most of this movie is Ellen having an extended freak out about the fact that her family is cursed, rightfully so, and everybody dismissing her as crazy. Michael
every once in a while she takes a break to almost fuck Michael Caine.
Yeah. There's also a subplot about Michael Caine and her having a romance, and then also the son Michael having like an extended kind of freak out that he thinks that Alfred is dealing drugs or something.
That's another in the novelization thing. Hoagie is totally into money laundering.
Oh, okay.
Like when he says he delivers laundry later on. Yeah.
So, but you're like, your mom's 65. Like, she's a grown ass woman. She can do what she wants. Anyways, it's like weirdly possessive to me.
Yeah, it's like it's not like you're gonna get a baby brother out of this. Just let your mom just let Alfred Pennyworth rail your mom, dude.
Just fucking roll with it. You might get something cool out of the deal. You might get some free drugs or something. Like, chill out. Anyways,
worst case scenario, you have free airfare wherever you want,
and also a pretty cool uncle.
Yeah,
or stepdad, I guess. That wouldn't be an uncle. Anyhow, actually, I can sum this whole plot up very quickly. Michael has a run-in with the shark, and he knows what's up, and he's sitting on the dock of the boat, and the shark bites the boat off and completely disregards Jake, his cool partner, which they have like this weird submersible, but it's not watertight. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what it's called. It's like...
Yeah, I've seen those before. Yeah, it's like an
ocean taxi. We're going to call it the ocean taxi.
We'll call it the ocean taxi. They have one of those also in Jaws 3, and they do a little bit more with it than they do in this one.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's in the ocean taxi. Jake's in the ocean taxi. The great white swims right by them and goes straight for Michael because he's cursed by the Vaudou. And Michael basically...
Or because the shark's getting paid and he's there on business.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But anyhow, Michael basically tells Jake, my mom's already freaking out about this. Don't tell anybody about this. But Jake is adamant that he wants to study the shark because they're both working for their doctorates, apparently. And like most reasonable doctorate students, you switch your research during the middle of your fucking doctoral dissertation to study a shark for 3 days.
Yeah, like you're like whatever page dissertation just has a huge section in the middle, and also we saw this cool shark.
Yeah, he's like, check out this cool shark we saw while we were studying conchs. Jake is adamant that they study the shark, and basically Jake is the brains of the operation from everything that I can see in this movie. And so
Jake, by the way, is played by Mario Van Peebles, and his Jamaican accent kind of comes and goes in like every other scene.
It absolutely does. But can I say Mario Van Peebles is a very fun name to say.
He's a great actor, but you could tell
he might be the best. He's probably the best actor in this film.
I don't know. Michael Caine is also in this film.
I mean, Michael Caine's good, but he doesn't have as many scenes as Mario, and Mario's a lot of fun in this movie.
He is, yeah.
Anyhow, he basically convinces Michael to study the shark for a few days. So they do that, and Michael gets attacked by this shark, and has an extended scene where he's kind of swimming through a wrecked boat to try to elude. Are we gonna call this shark Jaws? Like, are all the sharks supposed to be called Jaws?
No, because this shark is like, this shark's like a copycat killer. So in the Friday the 13th tradition, this shark is named Roy.
All right, Roy chases Michael through this ship, and Michael eludes him relatively unscathed. He has a wound on his arm, which I'm not sure how he explained that to his mom, but okay. And then later, as
me and the boys are just having a knife fight.
Yeah, Michael's wife. Anybody want to help me out on this one?
I forget her name.
She's an artist.
Melvin Van Peebles says it. I know that. I think it's the only time it's said.
Yeah, she's an artist.
Mario's dad plays the mayor.
Yes, she is an artist and a welder, and she unveils like an iron/steel sculpture at a beach. She is unveiling that, and Thea decides she wants to go on the banana boat. Hooray! Which is, for the uninitiated, is an inflatable raft shaped like a banana, which is hauled behind a boat, which I don't see how that's fun, but okay.
Let's go with Carla Brody.
Yeah, her name is Carla, that's right. I see those banana boats a lot on the beach, and let me tell you, they always look like the most dangerous thing imaginable.
Like, I don't understand how it can't come close to tubing, because tubing is amazing. Have you guys been tubing before?
No.
On a lake?
I have not.
Oh, that's really fun when, like, your dad will, like, whip you through the wake, and then the tube flips over, and then you, like, hit the water going 20 miles per hour. That's a lot of fun. I
got really confused when they started talking about the banana boat, and then they showed that little raft, because I'm like, it's not going to take very long to tally bananas in that little fucking thing.
Thank you. So anyways, Tia wants to get on the banana boat, and her friend and her friend's mom are on it, apparently. Sure, whatever. So she gets on the banana boat, and apropos of nothing, Grandma / Ellen. This is going to be an ongoing thing through this episode.
Just call her Ellen DeGeneres, okay?
Yeah,
that'll make it easier for everybody.
Oh,
she has like a end of episode 1 of Twin Peaks like psychic vision of this happening, pretty much.
Yeah. She does a psychic vision of it happening, and then lo and behold, our mercenary shark Roy appears to make this happen, but misses his mark and bites another person off of the banana boat and totally mauls them. And the rest of the banana boat. That's
the image on the front page of this post, this podcast episode.
Yes. Is the banana boat being bitten?
No, the woman being like taken down by the shark.
It is the most graphic part of this, other than the very end, other than the denouement. This is the most graphic part of this entire movie, I would say. Because she's like fucking bitten off of the boat and like chewed up. It's not really that graphic because we're in 1987 and this is a mass market movie.
Yeah.
But
just circle back for just 1 second. We missed a MacGuffin.
What was... oh, yeah.
They stab a tracking device into the side of the shark when the shark's biting at the boat.
And it tracks its heartbeat, apparently. Yeah, Jake has like this really cool like electro trident that he pierces into it and then lets it off. Yes. So we are capable of tracking the shark. And all the while during this, like Jake and Michael are still pursuing their research, and they're doing the conch stuff because that's the agreement that they came to, is they're going to do both the conchs and the shark. And they're like, oh, the shark's nowhere, and I'm totally not going to be late for my wife's unveiling of her artistic monument, even though they, for some reason, like, they're not present at all. Which is so crazy. Like, they talk about how they're going to be late for it, and they're out in the middle of the ocean, and then they're like, oh, we'll totally make it to our unveiling. They're not there. They're for the unveiling at all. Like, it's
not a bit.
It's weird. Anyways... and the banana boat, after it's bitten, is bleeding, which is ridiculous. I think the implication is that somebody on, like, the banana boat lost a limb.
No, somebody got taken down. Like
somebody got taken down, but I think it was supposed to be that somebody on the banana boat lost a limb because like they're getting the people off the banana boat when it comes back to the shore.
Oh,
and like
okay,
somebody's
gotcha.
like, somebody get a doctor. So
Maybe
anyways.
the shark just has the gum disease gingivitis, and that's why
Well,
there's blood everywhere whenever he shows up.
I mentioned it before, but this is maybe, other than one other thing, this is my main beef with the movie, is that every time the shark appears, even when it hasn't attacked anything, or hasn't attacked anything that bleeds, it like appears in a cloud of blood. It's terrible. Like
it's symbolism, Brad.
I understand, but come on. Come on. All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to say my main beef with this movie, which I love a bunch of other people have said, which is it stigmatizes great whites, which are animals which are largely minding their own business, and everybody hates them now.
Oh, yeah. No, the author, Peter Benchley, who wrote the original novel, basically has come out and said that he kind of regrets writing the novel because of how much it stigmatized sharks with
Like
the population.
Yeah, people like straight up murder sharks when they see them now. It's like snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though most of the time they won't like even attack humans unless they're wicked hungry and they're on the shore. I don't know.
Yeah, from what I've read, most of the times when a shark attacks a person, it's just like, hey, what's that thing over there that looks like an otter? I'm going to go see what it is. And the way sharks see what a thing is take a big old chomp out of it.
Yep.
Yep. Just, the moral of the story is don't ever go into the ocean ever, because the ocean is a scary place and humans are not meant to be inside of it.
I can tell you from experience, I've come face to face with a barracuda before, and they are fucking terrifying.
Yeah, barracudas are not fun. They will eat whatever is on your line already.
Oh, yeah.
Off of your line.
Oh, yes.
When you are fishing. They give no fucks.
But you say barracuda and people go, huh? What?
Wouldn't ya? Barracuda? Wait, are barracudas called something else in British English or something?
No, that's a line from the first movie, Brad.
You yell barracuda. Everybody says, huh? What? You yell shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Hey, that's appropriate because this episode is coming out on the 4th of July.
Wow, did we plan that or something?
Happy birthday, America. Anyhow, so basically Ellen decides that she's had enough and she fucking hijacks the schooner, the research schooner that Jake and Ronaldo, what the fuck's his name?
Michael?
Michael, yeah. Michael. Ronaldo. Called Neptune's Folly, and she takes it out into the open sea. Oh, actually, there's a third plot hole of this movie that I hate, but we'll get into that in a second. Jake and Michael have a big panic attack, and they realize that Grandma has gone crazy and taken the boat out into open waters. And they come across Chewie, not Chewie.
Hoagie?
Hoagie.
He's basically Chewbacca.
In a fucking skiff. And they're like, hey, your main squeeze went out into a boat and she's going crazy. We need to go after her. So, Hoagie gets his fucking plane. It's not a seaplane, which we will touch on.
It's a regular plane.
It's just a regular ass plane, which we'll touch upon in just a moment. And they track down Ellen. And Hoagie fucking water lands the plane. And they all jump off the side to get back onto the boat that Ellen's out in the open waters.
Which Ellen's plan is to get eaten by the shark, right?
I don't know what it's like. She doesn't. I guess it's because she's on the edge of the boat and she's like, "Come after me, you son of a bitch!" Even though that's not a very good impression of a woman.
It's like a kind of a Captain Ahab sort of thing that these movies keep doing. Like one of the characters inevitably will go crazy, and it's either like a kill or be killed thing with the shark.
Yeah,
and in this one, it's Ellen.
I don't think she's gonna win a fight with that
Captain
shark.
Captain Ahab at least had a harpoon. So.
Yeah, that's true.
She is unarmed. I think her logic is that if she, the matriarch of the entire family, is killed, then the shark will be satiated and go away. I guess.
I think that's their plan. But the thing that actually happens, I can't imagine anybody said, "Let's do this." You know?
Yeah.
Which we'll get into here in a minute.
Hoagie crash lands his plane and everybody abandons ship. We think Hoagie's dead for a minute, but surprise, he's not.
Yeah, because the shark like attacks him like in the door of the plane, just like straight in.
Yeah, but surprisingly,
shark,
literally
the
nobody.
The shark's just like, oh, you're not a Brody, my mistake, sir.
Yeah, surprisingly, literally nobody. He makes it onto the ship unscathed.
They said there was a hoagie in this plane. Somebody lied to me.
Thank you. Somebody, I think Alfred, has the actual foresight to call authorities. Good on him. He's like, get a bunch of boats and somebody who can fucking destroy a shark. Good job.
Yeah, like ping the location of the boat and get a shark hunter out here stat.
Yeah. Anyhow, so Jake has a brainwave while Hoagie and Ellen are bilging the boat and trying to get the engine restarted. They're going to put like basically an EMP inside of the shark, which will drive it crazy, is my understanding of it.
Basically, yeah.
So Jake straps together a bunch of electronics to create this EMP, and he is the one who's going to use a rod to put it out into the shark. And he does so, but unfortunately he is eaten in the process. And it's very sad, and we all hate it. And then Ellen decides she's had enough, and Michael is using the EMP to kind of freak the shark out and make it kind of flop out of the water a little bit. It kind of breaches every time he does the EMP, and he times it with Ellen, who rams the boat into the shark, and the shark explodes. And this is the part of the movie that I hate the most, because the boat is going about 10 miles per hour. Because earlier in the movie, they say they're on that same boat, and they say it can do about 9 knots maximum. And guess what? This is the same boat that is used to ram a shark and ostensibly explode it. And it is going 10 miles per hour. And that is the biggest plot hole of this movie, my friends. And I hate it. They could have just left that line out, and I would have believed it a little bit more, but no.
But all the while they're doing this, and they're flashing back to the time when Martin Brody blew the shark up in the first movie. Like somebody in this movie has an idea that's going to help them kill the shark in this one. But no, they're just like remembering Dad and how Dad killed the shark. Except also, none of us were there to see that.
They saw the first movie.
I guess.
Remember how Dad told us about the time he killed that really cool shark? We're going to do that, except we're going to run a boat into it at 10 miles per hour and kind of bruise it really bad.
Also,
no. the shark fucking explodes.
Well, to be fair, it's because they fed the shark a bomb is why it exploded.
No, I thought they fed it like just an EMP. I didn't think they fed it a bomb.
Also, to be fair, like half of the shots they use of the shark exploding were literally used from the first movie.
Although, if you think about it, I guess they must have fed it a bomb because the entire ship is destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's...
Yeah, Wikipedia informs me that they hastily put together a bomb, so...
That's my misunderstanding then, but they didn't showcase it very well that Jake was strapping fucking gunpowder into his... Basically, every single electronic device in this movie is just a... Remember those giant lights that you could put, like, triple D batteries into?
Yeah.
Those giant, like, they looked like coffee canisters with a light on the end? Every single electronic in this movie is that.
This whole movie was brought to you by Radio Shack.
Yes.
My favorite bit in the end of this movie is that, like, when Michael hits the pulse, whatever, to get the shark to pop out of the water, the shark jumps out and then fucking roars at him.
It's very good.
Like, what kind of a sound does a shark make? This is the movie that tells you.
Yes.
It sounds like a fucking grizzly bear.
If anybody that listens to this podcast is a marine biologist, I know I could easily Google this, but please tell me if sharks are even capable of, like, roaring or doing vocalizations.
I'm pretty sure they're not, but...
Yeah, I would feel like that's not very advantageous underwater.
I mean, you can train a shark to speak Russian, but it's with a really thick accent, so you can't even understand it.
So the boat blows up, and lo and behold, thank goodness, Jake is still alive. So
because
cool.
because American audiences fucking hated the original ending so much.
Tell us about that real quick.
The original ending is like the shark, like they stab the shark and the shark just thrashes around a bunch and dies and destroys the boat by thrashing around, I guess. And Jake's still dead.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
And that was the original theatrical ending, but like American audiences hated the fucking ending so much that they went and refilmed it. Which I'm pretty sure that these actors really need an excuse to go back to the Bahamas for another couple weeks. So,
So the question is, this film, I know we shouldn't place too much credence on things such as the tomato meter, but this has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you think that was in reaction to the original ending?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it's probably a cumulative effect where every little thing is so terrible that I don't know.
For all of its faults, I didn't actively hate this movie. It was a little boring, sure. But
I mean, it was 90 minutes. It got in, did some work, and got out. I mean, it was bad work, but it was over quick, I guess.
Well, that is the blessing of having a movie from the 80s. Like, there are very few movies from the 80s that are over 2 hours, right? Unless they're art films.
Or unless they're just like the gigantic like blockbusters of the day, yeah.
I guess. But I don't know.
Like the Star Wars is basically.
More movies need to be short, is all I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Fucking get in, tell us what you want. And video games. Jesus Christ. Like, get in, tell us what you want, get out. Show us the gameplay loop.
One of the tightest video games, like story-wise and everything like that, is still Max Payne 2. Just because it doesn't spend any extra time on being a video game. Like, once you get through a plot-relevant action scene, you're on to the next one. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
The first Max Payne game dragged on quite a bit. Like, there were several sections where it was like, this section should be 5 minutes shorter.
Welcome to video game chat, folks.
Hell yeah.
And
fucking
also,
started it.
Also, I never played Max Payne 3 just because I assumed that it was going to have, a needlessly long story. Was I wrong?
I've never played it either.
Same Z's.
I assumed it was going to suck because it was made like several years later.
I haven't played a single Max Payne, actually.
But I agree with John. Max Payne 2 is really fun. So
that's
real quick,
that's your Christmas Creeps video game recommendation for the day.
Max Payne 2. It's really fun. So also, we can't really take into account what IMDb thinks about anything. But on IMDb, Jaws 4 is listed as the 27th worst film of all time.
Ooh, I feel like that's not gonna be the case. Maybe the 27th worst film that a lot of people have seen of all time. There have got to be like 100 films worse than this thing.
IMDb tends to have like a pack mentality though of like, oh, people said this movie is bad, so I'm gonna fucking rate it bad too.
Yeah, nobody's fucking watching Christmas Shoes intentionally.
Exactly.
Or Santa Buddies, the whole Santa Buddies duology.
Let's see
trilogy,
here.
Or
the lowest rated Christmas movie on the IMDb bottom 100 is Kirk Cameron's Saving Christmas, which I don't think will be in any danger of watching anytime soon.
What is that? Never heard of it.
It is a movie in which Christian TV star Kirk Cameron basically I don't know, tells his family about how great the reason for the season is.
Throws a bunch of red Starbucks cups on the ground and smashes them with his foot.
I wouldn't be surprised. His annual Christmas party, faltering thanks to his cynical brother-in-law, former Growing Pains star Kirk Cameron, attempts to save the day by showing him that Jesus Christ remains a crucial component of the over-commercialized holiday.
Okay, I mean, I agree with you on the over-commercialized. Yeah, okay, all right. Fine and good.
Let's just leave it. How about that?
Yeah.
Also,
I think we actually really need to watch this movie. I'm sorry.
Yo. To back up what you just said, the running time in this movie, 1 hour and 19 minutes.
I can respect that. If it's a bad 109, if it's a bad 79 minutes, I kind of would prefer that to like a mediocre 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Yeah, I too would rather watch Saving Christmas or whatever than Avengers Endgame.
Agreed.
You
heard it here first.
So one thing I want to go back and discuss real quick is the parade that Hoagie takes Ellen to at one point in the film. It's let's see here.
A real thing that exists.
It's a real thing that exists. I did not know. I actually learned something from Jaws: The Revenge. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a parade, a festival called Junkaroo, which is apparently the biggest festival in the Bahamas. They do it twice a year on Boxing Day and New Year's Day.
Wait, that's that close together?
Apparently. Or I think maybe different parts of the Bahamas do it different days. That's my understanding. I could be wrong.
I'm surprised they don't have they don't do it on like Carnival or whatever. Anyhow,
it's very closely related. So it's kind of their version of that.
You know the fucking, not to talk about memes that's about to do, you know the meme of like Pooh and then it's Pooh, the exact same Pooh, but he's wearing a top hat and a monocle?
Yes, I love that. Actually, he's wearing a tux. I love it.
Yes. So like basically the original Pooh is Joe talking about Jaws 4 in Junkanoo, and then I'm over here being Pooh wearing the tux and hat and everything like that, being like, actually it's in Thunderball.
Thank you.
Okay, John.
We'll put
You've
it. And
seen more Bond movies than I have.
We'll put it in the show notes. Can you put that meme in the show notes? Because I do love that meme. It's very good. It's not so much the tux; it's the expression that they've edited onto Pooh's face. Like it's like a weird, like smug expression. It's so good. Plus, add into the fact that like Winnie the Pooh was my favorite thing when I was little. It's the best. I think it might be my favorite meme.
Well, I said this before. Winnie the Pooh is my idol.
The one that I just put in the chat says it all.
God.
Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes. Please do. We're gonna put this in the show notes, and we're gonna mark it as not safe for work, but it's amazing.
Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you.
I'll put it in the show notes right underneath the Junkanoo video that I've been watching this morning.
The 7-hour Junkanoo stream.
The 2019 John. I broke John with a meme. The 2019 New Year's Day Junkanoo Parade. All 6 hours and 39 minutes of it is available to watch on YouTube.
Forget about SGDQ. Watch this.
And let me tell you, it's a pretty cool parade. And I wish we did stuff around here like this. The theme for this year's Junkanoo apparently was the Wild West.
Oh, that fucking owns. Now I need to see this.
So there's all these like floats and stuff of like, they're basically doing whiteface with cowboys and Indians and shit. It's really weird.
Oh, that's so cool. I love it.
I do kind of love it. I can respect this.
That's awesome.
So there it is. Your Christmas Creeps lesson for the day. Go look up Junkanoo and watch a whole bunch of Junkanoo videos. It's great.
Can I just say,
John is still laughing about this meme.
Yeah. Why have we not approached whiteface as like a way of cultural healing? Because that fucking owns. You know,
I don't know. I think in the U.S. there would be a lot of pushback, but in the Bahamas, not so much.
I mean,
it's just culturally different in the Bahamas, I guess.
If you're so fucking up your own ass that you can't like, that owns. I'm white. That owns. Like, let people with white
totally.
face.
No, I full agree here.
Anyways, so they explode the shark, and everybody has a happy ending, and they're all gonna go back to fucking New England for next Christmas or whatever. Who cares? Whatever. The end.
Whatever. Who cares?
And apparently, the shark curse is lifted, even though they think that. Is there a Jaws 5?
There is not. No.
Okay.
This was the last Jaws film. Thank God.
Apparently, the curse had been lifted. I mean, there only needed to be one Jaws film, but money and capitalism. So there you go.
Yeah, the thing with Jaws is that, like, the first one was, like, the biggest hit ever. So, of course, they made a second one. And then when they made the second one, it was, again, one of the biggest hits ever. So, of course, they made a third one. And then that didn't do so hot. And they said, well, let's try it again. And then when that didn't do so hot, all right, we're done.
This is over.
But like 1 and 2 were like legit two of the biggest hits of all time at the time.
It was like the first summer blockbuster, wasn't it?
Yeah, the first one has so much going for it. I kind of understand why they would make another one, but then when you turn it into like your kind of run of the mill slasher film series where there are just 10 needless sequels for no reason other than they print money, maybe stop doing it. I don't know.
What if they had gone the direction instead of, oh, it's another shark? What if they had just fought different like sea creatures? Yeah, just like Jaws 3. This time it's a kraken.
Like, imagine how cool it would have been if it was like a super smart octopus that could wield knives or something, or
it's just an octopus with a gun.
Yeah,
like,
or
okay,
or the birds, but with eels.
If Jaws 3 had featured a super smart octopus that knew how to like manipulate the controls of SeaWorld so that it could open gates and stuff,
that would have fucking owned.
Actually, they kind of made that. It was called Finding Dory.
Well, yeah, but it was a cute twee children's film.
Okay,
yeah, cool.
By the way, have either of y'all seen Toy Story 4 yet? Is it good?
No, I have not.
Not yet.
Not the video game chat, but do you remember the dog ending from Silent Hill 2?
From what now, too?
The dog ending from Silent Hill 2?
No.
It's a joke ending where the main character goes through a door and he comes across like a control room basically with like levers and buttons and switches everywhere. It looks like where Homer works. And then a bunch of monitors on the wall, and there's a Shiba Inu in front of it, like pushing the levers and wearing headphones. And he just goes, he just falls to his knees and goes, "It was you all along." I'm just imagining that, but with an octopus.
Oh my god.
That's very good. That's very good. Or what would be even better and more meta is if they were fighting an animatronic shark. How good would that be? Like it's some evil mastermind that has just basically set out to terrorize the family with fake sharks.
Like in universe, it's actually a fake shark.
Yes!
Controlled by...
It's a fake shark with like an AI that's like learned to want to kill the Brodies.
It's a fake shark controlled by the shadowy, like neighborhood watch-esque corporate group that runs Amity behind the scenes.
Yes, this is the Santa's Workshop, and that's so good.
And they're using a fake shark to basically drive the Brodies crazy and also out of town because the Brodies are ruining everything in Amity.
It's Five Nights at Freddy's, but with the shark.
It's Hot Fuzz, but with a shark. I love it.
Oh man! And then. See, I'm trying to figure out how you would work the other characters into this, though. Like,
I mean, Jake could be like Michael's college roommate who like owes him a favor and like comes to help solve the mystery or whatever.
No. Okay, in the third act, when Michael gets like run out of town, he goes to Jake for help, and Jake helps him build a good fake shark to fight the evil fake shark.
Yes.
Now it's Bill and Ted, and that's great.
Oh, we need to make this film.
I think we're just talking about Family Guy now and the whole Bigger Jaws thing.
What?
In an episode of Family Guy, Peter proposed a sequel to Jaws called Bigger Jaws, in which a bigger shark shows up so that the Brodies and the original shark have to work together to fight the big shark.
Who's fucking crushing a can right now?
That was me, sorry.
It's okay. You can edit it yourself out.
I will. I'll just edit myself out of the room. Excuse me. Oh boy. So
should we move over to the crankometer?
Let's do it. Yeah. So Brad, tell us about the crankometer because I'm gonna self-medicate real quick.
All right. While Joe is fucking draining his pipes, the crankometer is an XY axis where we rate a movie based on both its quality and its Christmasity. That would be quality, you know what that means, but Christmasity is sort of its trueness to the Christmas spirit, and this ranges in both the X and Y axis from a -5 to a 5, where a 5 is the highest quality and a 5 is the highest Christmasosity, and a -5 is the lowest quality and a -5 is the lowest Christmasity. And every week we endeavor, or every couple of weeks we endeavor to rate a film on these metrics. And
can I just go ahead and give this Pooh meme like a 0.7?
It's very
like, it's not really Christmassy, but yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh. It's a non-canon one, but yes, quality it is a 7, and Christmasosity it is true neutral. It is a 0. Alright, so where do you folks rate this on the Christmasosity quotient?
just for the pure fact of it teaching me what Junkaroo was, I want to give this at least a 1.
What did we give Jurassic World? Because it did put in more legwork than Jurassic World.
Jurassic World I feel like it was a -1? Maybe?
Jurassic World was a -5.
Whoa!
Damn.
I feel like I'd be fine anywhere from a -1 to a 1. I feel like this really validated my theory that every 12 films should just occur over Christmas, because it didn't feel like it was like leaning into it too much.
Except for the whole the cop getting eaten.
Well, no, that was
the
good.
Choir.
Except that was a good scene.
That's what I'm saying. That was a good scene, so I'm cool with that. And that's about the only Christmas they used as well. And I could see them doing that with any other situation. You know, have them practicing some fucking Sousa marches the 4th of July. But the Christmas was just funnier, though. So
1.
I'm gonna say 1. Yeah.
1. Plus, we learned something about another culture's Christmas traditions, you know? And I think that's invaluable.
Always a positive. That's like the best review anybody will ever give Jaws 4. Right.
All right. So that is Christmasity. We have a 1. And how about the quality quotient, my friends?
Oh, boy. This is tough. This is tough because, like...
I feel like this film didn't deserve maybe a 0. Like, it's not all bad. It's bad, but it's not all bad.
That's the problem with Rotten Tomatoes, though, is because, like, if you have 4 critics and they each give the movie, like, a 4 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes is, like, 0%. Because that's how Rotten Tomatoes works. It's a percentage of critics that say it's good or not.
Yeah, so let's get away from that. I didn't hate this film.
It is, like, perfectly serviceably mediocre. And the only real problem is that it's part 4 in a series that was started by Steven Spielberg.
I want to go with like a -2 maybe, or a -1.
I mean, I would say this isn't necessarily any worse than some dog shit like Anaconda or Arachnophobia. It just has the unfortunate happenstance of having Jaws and a number 4 in its name.
And a wide release.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think a -1 is kind of perfectly acceptable for this. Because, like, yeah, it's, like, pretty noticeably not a good movie, but it's not the worst thing we've watched by far.
Oh, not by a long stretch. No, this was...
No ice cream bunnies to be seen.
I was bracing for, like, a terrible movie, and this was really...
This is a big fat nothing burger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, if we weren't already recording this on a Sunday afternoon, I would be probably watching this on a Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
You know? It's that kind of movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that shows up on USA in circa, like, 1998 on, like, a Thursday evening or some shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This movie is just random bullshit.
Something you have on while you're preparing dinner.
Yes.
All right.
-1? Is that what we
negative
on?
-1.
All right.
So that's a 1, -1?
Yep.
Or did I get it twisted? Is it -1, 1?
1 -1.
Okay. Yep. So there it is. Book 'em, Booker. That's a 1 -1 on our patented scale.
I feel like we didn't talk enough about Michael Caine in this movie, or sort of some of his more famous quotations based on the movie. Specifically, that when asked if he had ever seen the movie, he said no, he hasn't seen the movie, but he has seen the house that it built, and it's terrific.
I love that. That's awesome.
Also, apparently, the only reason he agreed to do the movie at all was because he read the first line of the script and it said "fade in Hawaii." Yeah. So he signed on to it, assuming he was going to get to go to Hawaii.
Wonderful. I mean, he got to go to the Bahamas, which is a pretty good consolation prize.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, you can't fault him for that.
No.
And also famously, he had to miss the Oscars, for which he won an Oscar because he was shooting this movie.
Whoops-a-doodle. Well,
Yep.
that's not so perfect.
From his autobiography, he says that Jaws 4, quote, will go down to my memory as the time when I won an Oscar, paid for a house, and had a great holiday. Not bad for a flop movie, end quote.
Well, that's some nice perspective, I guess, from an ultra celebrity.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the last shitty movie Michael Caine will be in. It's not the first either. So,
Real fun fact for those who don't want to Wikipedia, what did he get an Oscar for?
Hannah and Her Sisters, I think.
Never heard of it.
British actors absolutely fucking slumming it, and just whatever random stinker will pay them is a pretty time-honored tradition. Not all of them can be Star Wars, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hannah and Her Sisters is a Woody Allen film, so
okay.
It makes sense that he would get an Oscar for that. Okay.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's Jaws 4, everybody. I feel like my voice has kind of slowly come back over the course of this episode.
I feel like you have been revived and you have come back to us, whereas before you were replaced with like a Joe doppelganger. I feel like we have the real Joe back, and that is the healing power of this podcast.
The healing power of this podcast and terrible movies revives me and gives me strength, and it makes me ready to take on whatever other bullshit we're gonna do next.
More horrible movies.
Hell yes. So hey guys, apparently the new Child's Play takes place around the holidays.
Oh no.
Oh, gross.
Oh no.
That's what I heard.
They get like the Chucky doll for Christmas or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
Great.
Because apparently it was supposed to come out last Christmas, and then it didn't.
Last Christmas, I gave you my Chucky, but the very next day, you delayed
It murdered my mom.
It murdered my mom.
Is there a movie yet called like Killer App about like an iPad that kills people?
Oh, that'd be so not good, but it's a good pun, and I can respect that.
Because I was thinking, like, what kind of kid in the TYOL 2019 is still getting a fucking like analog toy for Christmas?
A lot of kids still get stuffed animals for Christmas. Like if they're like 6 years old or under, I would feel like.
Yeah, but for Chucky to make sense in like a real world, you have to know what the fuck My Buddy was.
Isn't Chucky like? Isn't the new one? Isn't Chucky like app enabled or like connected to the
Something
internet
like
or
that.
whatever?
I think so. Yeah.
He's like an Internet of Things doll or whatever.
Oh, so the whole movie's gonna be like an Internet of Things kind of horror movie?
Chucky is like summoning the refrigerator that's connected to the internet to like put out ice to make somebody slip and fall and die. Maybe. Who knows?
Could
And
be.
you know what? I'm gonna say I'm probably calling it. It's probably actually what's going on.
Watch this space.
And if that's actually the case, then that's literally a Treehouse of Horror.
Chucky is a hacker.
Chucky is voiced by Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think that's gonna do it for Christmas Creeps.
Before Joseph dies, we're gonna log off here. But if you want to follow us, we're on many social medias. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook, if that's your thing. Are we on Instagram?
I have an Instagram, but I don't really use it.
Okay. But we're wherever you may find us. You can Google Christmas Creeps. We're probably there. Or you can DuckDuckGo Christmas Creeps. We're probably also on that. We have a website and we have a podcast, which you're listening to right now. If you would like to leave a review of this, we would really appreciate it. Even if it's not a glowing one, we're always willing to listen to feedback. You can also email us at christmascreeps@gmail.com.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Fuck!
It's at xmascreeps@gmail.com.
When are we going to contact the Christmas Creeps at gmail.com and fucking buy them out?
I don't know.
Why don't we just make a fucking email at christmascreeps.com?
I don't know how to do that.
You can contact us anyways. You know how to use the internet. You found this podcast. You can get in touch with us. Please get in touch with us. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from all of our listeners from all around the world, and it's very humbling. And we more than anything, we want to thank you so much for listening. I don't know how you find 3 white cisgendered heterosexual males talking about Christmas movies interesting, but I love that you do, and I really appreciate it. So
yeah, as we round the corner on this year, the long slide to Christmas starts now.
Yes!
And I am ready for it. The creep is on, people. And this July, look for some wacky shit from Christmas Creeps. Your one-stop shop for holiday nonsense all year round.
Hashtag the creep is on. Let's do it. Let's make it trend.
Hashtag the creep is on. So for Christmas Creeps, I'm Joseph Wade.
I'm Bradford.
I'm Johnny Five, the sad robot.
Jaws is after that Brody again.
Good night, everybody.
Happy Christmas.
Da-da.
Happy Christmas.